Yes, respected, great, wonderful, sincere, sadhaka gana, shrota gana, jignasu moksha gana, bhakta, shishya gana of the Gurus and the Lord, sevaka, dharma premi gana. Welcome you all. Let us together with full ardency and devotion bow down in front and pray to the Parabrahma, to the Ishvara, to the Devata Gana, to the Guru Parampara, and also to the Shruti Mata. Today's our thought is similar only. Before we study the Upanishad, in life, both material and spiritual, it is not all God's grace it works, and also it is not all our efforts only work. Both of them work, therefore, both of them are necessary. While continuously struggling to improve upon ourselves and do our performance, we improve ourselves and perform better from our side. This is very, very essential. Only then we get the right and opportunity to apply it to the Lord. And in applying to the Lord, these are the 4 5 things we have to mind. First, the acceptance of the presence of the Lord. He is very much there. As long as I am there as Jiva, as long as the other beings are there around me, recognized by me, as long as there is a Jagat in front of us, with so many things happening in it, undoubtedly the Paramatma Ishvara also is there. Therefore, how strong we are in the belief of the Ishvara, isn't it? Like our parents, when they are there, or any family members, or any relatives came to our house as guests. So, how pakka we are that they are there. For 6 7 hours, we may not meet them. They may be in different room, but we know that they are there. Is there any iota of doubt? Not at all. To understand it, those guest relatives, when they go, you only have put them, let us say, in the flight or train. The plane took off or train moved. Then when you come home, is there any iota of doubt that they are there or not there? पक्का we know that they are not there क्योंकि हम ही गाड़ी चढ़ा के आए. But in the earlier case, when they were at home as guests, we are so pakka about their presence. And when we cook food, we keep them in mind. We make tea, coffee, we keep them in mind, and we call them, invite them, or go and give it to them. How our mind at that time, isn't it? Our children come from abroad, 1 month they stay. How much we are aware of their presence. Okay, in that way, we have to become aware of the Lord's existence or presence, undoubtedly. ये अभ्यास करने से होता है. Second is what? About the powers and abilities of God, we have to have another full doubtless faith. Okay, He is Sarva Shaktiman, that He can do anything and everything, while a thought should also be stronger. And He is everywhere there, isn't it? And He is Sarvagnata, that He knows how to take care of His devotees, we all. So, to take care of someone, the Jnana is required, the Shakti is required, the mobility is required, the willingness is required. So, does the God have that Jnana to sort out my problems? We should have the understanding and accept that, yes, not only of me, but of the whole world, he has got the knowledge to sort out the problems, issues. Therefore, he is Sarvam Janati. Sarvagni hai. So too, sometimes we have the knowledge, but we don't have the power, strength, or resources. Does the Lord has that power, strength? We have to inevitably accept that सर्व शक्ति है उनको. नहीं तो अल्प शक्ति से he'll take care of you. When others ask for help, he says no. मैं थक गया हूँ वहाँ, अभी आपका कल परसों होगा और नहीं होगा. ऐसा नहीं है. भगवान इज सर्वशक्तिमान आल्सो. Important is third one. He is he there everywhere to take care. If not, by the time he comes, the problem will be, aggravated, and then it may enter into a state of crisis. Like the fire engines. They can quench the fire, but the far off, 20 kilometers dur. Now, by the time they come to this place of fire, so much things get gutted and even casualties happen. So, do that fire engine has ability to quieten the fire? Yes, but it is not sarva vyapak. Therefore, it cannot help. बहुत बार ऐसे होता है. With all capacities, by the time the place of requirement is reached, everything is destroyed. Is it not that in the bhukamp and all time, inside those rubbles, people are there. No, you can't reach, therefore you can't help, though you have capacities. इसलिए सर्वव्यापकता भगवान का एक्सेप्ट होना है. If he is only in puja room and you are in a problem in a hospital, we can't come from there or somewhere else or in the bedroom. तो उनको सर्वव्यापक होना है. Then only he can answer to everyone's prayers wherever they are, in whatever situation, from whatever problem. About our Ishvara, these thoughts have to be very deeply convinced. Each of these convictions we grow in. Our prayers carry or gather a special intensity and depth. With these things not thought of, not understood, not accepted, prayers are full of doubt and superficial, and they are not answered. Isn't it? They are not answered. Very superficial hai, very light hai, we won't. Like very superficially, very lightly, I ask you to do this or that work. Regular आइए class में मुझे help करिए. You will never do because it doesn't register into your heart. Isn't it? But very intensely, deeply when I do it, you consider, अच्छा ठीक है स्वामी जी. In the same way. Without intensity, depth, you won't. Okay? Then the fourth one is what? All is okay. He has all knowledge, he has all power, he is everywhere. But is he willing? Again, unko willingness means, does he have that karuna and krupa? This is another crucial point. The answer is he has no other job. He has no other job than doing that karuna krupa on all jivas. Like when you look at the people cleaning the roads or railway stations, what do they have any other job? वही करते हैं वो लोग. So to a person रेडी में कुछ बेच रहा है, 20 साल से वो एक ही काम. He just goes on selling only bananas or only some vegetable. He doesn't keep any other job. Just for example's sake. Same way, other than showering his krupa and karuna, Bhagavan has no other thing. Even his creation of Srishti, maintenance, laya, and he is giving karma phala to the people according to their punya papa. ये सहारा उनका कृपा करुणा का ही एक्सप्रेशन है. So abundant, infinite is God, Krupa and Karuna. Okay. Now with these four things mainly in our heart, we have to pray to God. Along with what we are supposed to do, doing it. Both of them have to complement each other. Now, when it comes to the prayer, the other very aspect important is what? He, what for we are praying. We should know very clearly. And let us not pray for those things. When we pray, even God is not happy, satisfied. And even if He blesses us, He is also not happy, and we are also not completed. That again we need to pray. ऐसे वाले चीजें ना करना है, मांगना नहीं, वो चीज मांगना, okay, with which he is satisfied and he gives it willingly, and once he gives up, that is given once for all, and we also no need to ask the same thing and no need to ask anything else. How beautiful, you see. We should ask for such thing with maturity. This is where we lack wisdom. This is where the deep study of Shastras help us in knowing what exactly we have to seek from the Lord. Same thing we have to pursue also. See, the Lord is capable of giving everything. But we should know when He is capable of giving everything, what we have to ask for. Like Yamaraj was capable of giving everything. But what Nachiketa asked? Bhagavan Narasimha was able to give everything what Nachiketa asked for. Isn't it? How many examples infinite we have seen. So we should ask. That is how the people in their highest sattva level, the people of the past, the disciples, let us say, the bhaktas, few examples which we gave. Either they said knowingly, Bhagavan give us the Brahma Atma Jnanam, or give us total bhakti sharanagati to you, or give us that having gained which nothing remains to be gained. Give us that knowledge having known, nothing remains to be known. Or they asked, give us the best of everything. Shreyas कहते हैं उसको. So they have asked for the Shreyas, they have asked for the ultimate Jnanam, they have asked for the ultimate Sharanagati, or they asked for Paramatma Prapti. Words are different, but in and through that, what is sought is same. Whoever have asked for it, they made even the Lord happy. And Lord is willing to give that. And whoever were blessed by the Lord, you know, after these prayers, they are left with nothing else to seek. It's a completeness, it's a fulfillment. So you have to keep on checking in our heart. Okay. Now the fifth one is very important. Even though we have asked the Lord, Lord is ready to give. Let us remember another thing that it takes time, one for Him to give, second for us to receive also. Because the nata between us and God did not start just now. It is there from long. So earlier already, knowingly, unknowingly, we have put so many applications to Him, asking for so many things, or deserving so many karma palas by doing so much of karma. So all those results are in the making, in the process. है ना? कोई कोई चीज तो ऑलमोस्ट बन चुके हैं, सिर्फ हमारे लिए तो हमको देना ही पड़ेगा. Like in the hotel, when you go order for 6 7 items, then you just think about it and try to change or cancel few things. पुलाव दन बेरर को इसे नहीं, सब आपके जो ऑर्डर है बन गया है, आपको लेना ही पड़ेगा. Isn't it? We have to take it only. चलो ले आओ करके we take. In the same way, it will take time definitely for the Lord to give result. It takes time for various reasons. है ना? It is not that we are alone in this world, are there. We are related to so many people in so many ways, in so many runanubandhanam. And without clearing all of that, suddenly He cannot give us what we ask. So therefore, He will see to it that all those debts are cleared, all those attachments are detached from, All those dependencies are freed from. Because without these things happen, even if he gives, we don't become qualified to take. You and I are at this position actually. Every day Bhagavan is giving us Brahma Jnana. But are we taking? Think about it. Why we are not taking? Because we are not fully fit or qualified. Because in so many entanglements we are in. So therefore, consciously if you observe through various experiences, through various maturities, various understandings of the need of detachment, etc., Bhagavan is clearing all of them. Isn't it? We have to be aware and we have to cooperate with him. For example, nobody talks to us, nobody inquires about us. All of them are positive, good signs as the blessings of God that we are freed from all these entanglements. That time we should not again get attached to things, beings and ask भगवान भगवान फिर से मुझे फंसाओ. अरे जो ब्रह्म ज्ञान मैं देना चाहता हूँ उसके लिए जो अंतर्मुख होना है बहुत भीतर जाना है beyond the upadis. For that all these declutchings, detachments are necessary. Therefore, even though you deserve to be lost in the world, yet I only am blessing you to go inside. Make use of this. Understand it, accept it. This is what Bhagavan says. We must know it. Isn't it? Wherever we are caught up, there he gives problems so that we get detached from. All are for detachment. The true, genuine, matured detachment born out of proper viveka. Isn't it? Sri Rama's life we are seeing and the text we are studying already. Anityatvadi darshanena उत्पन्न इह अमुत्र अर्थ भोग विरागः. देखो how big and how complete is that sentence, isn't it? So in that way it takes time to receive what we asked from the Lord for him to give. Even if he is giving, we are not ready right now to take. But here also we have to be aware that we have to start becoming ready to receive what he gives. All the time that question कि मैंने भगवान से मोक्ष या परमात्मा आनंद ज्ञान मांगा, बट क्या मैं लेने को तैयार हूँ? इसमें फिर क्या करें? भगवान तैयार करो. And any treatment required, let me understand, give me strength to accept those treatments and go through. Isn't it? Give me the strength to go through any treatments you give for me to become qualified to receive your Krupa Karuna in giving what I want, the ultimate. Isn't it? Because the treatments will be serious and severe sometimes in terms of Vyavahara. As we said, the bereavements or the losses or the health problem. What is required for us to detach from the world and upadhis? Bhagavan does it. Like what is required for the health of the patient, the doctors do. In that, only a oral medication, one tablet can be there. Very simple disease है तो. It can be applying some balm or malham. ऊपर ऊपर का कोई burn या चोट लगा तो. That can be an injection also, depending on the severity. It can be everyday injection for few days, months. देखो, it depends on the disease. Sometimes we may get operated. Sometimes we may even have to be amputated with one part, one or the limb of the body. Of severity, bhai, depending on that. So in that appendix problem, inflammation, they remove that only. In some cases, people gall bladder निकाल दिया, ये रिप्लेस किया, तो डिसीज वैसा है. At the spiritual level also, what is that obstructing us from spiritual anubhuti? When we pray to the Lord, Lord tries to remove them. While removing it, it is a very sensitive operation for him, very sensitive acceptance for us also. So we have to be ready to receive it. That's a beautiful preparation in the mind. It comes with surrender, and if it is done, that also is called as surrender. Such person says, Jahi vidhi rakhe Ram, tahi vidhi rahiye. And it is only half sentence. That Rama is taking me towards him. In that process only, he is giving all these treatments. Or, oh Lord, give all treatments, but then take me towards you. Like yesterday, what a beautiful mantra it was. In Shivananda Lahari, what was said? Bhagavan, in whatever the yoni you put me, if my mind chitta is always at your lotus, then kim tena mapusha, which body you give me, I don't mind. है ना नरत्वम पशुत्वम नगवन मृगत्वम अशुगता pashutvam kitatvam, all of that he says. Then if my hridaya is always in your feet, kim tena mapusha, which body it is, how does it matter? Both ways. If I don't be the meditator or the devotee of God, कितना बढ़िया भी शरीर दिया क्या फायदा उसका? Or if I'm meditating on the Lord, it can be when the mashaka, how does it matter? My chitta is vihara saktam chet, my vadiyam chittam tava padam bhoje kena vapusha, kim tena vapusha. What is the problem? Isn't it? Same thing we have to have very clearly in our heart. Lord, give all treatments, but take me near to you. Reveal yourself to me. Make me united with you. No desire is greater than this. No desire lesser than this should be asked. This, this alone, this alone, again and again. Like Nachiketa, Varastame Varaniya Saiva, Varastame Varaniya Saiva. In the heat of this desire in front of the Lord put for the Paramatma Rapti, all other desires, wants, which are just out of delusion, should be washed away, should be eliminated. मांग रहे हम मिल रहा है हमको फंस रहे हम उसमें मांग रहे हैं मिल रहा है फंस रहे तो अनजाने में वो मांग रहे हम जिसमें फंस रहे we have to break the shackles of immaturity. That is the purpose of studying Upanishads, in which what is eternal, immutable, permanent, what is ephemeral, temporary, they are clearly put in front of us. Through the various examples, stories, कथा सा महात्मा हमको यही सिखा रहा है कि नहीं? So these are the 6-7 things when we have patient waiting again, as it takes time for him to reveal depending on where do we stand. And as we said, so many of the applications, so many of the runa which we have incurred, he'll have to clear them. He's on that job. Surrender में ये भी आ जाता है. In surrender, the first thing is total understanding about God, as we saw. Second thing is asking only for moksha or bhagavad prapti. Third is ready to receive all the treatments he goes on giving, keeping in mind that he is doing all this to fulfill my desire of his revelation to me. And how what? Slowly, if not today, after few months or years or lives, he will make it clear how this path of his treating us is leading in our recognizing our identity with him. वो धीरे पता चलेगा. अब नहीं पता चला बस कुछ दिन के बाद. Now you see, if you look back 4 or 5 years back, in whatever situation you were there, you can imagine कि अरे इस situation में जे भगवान ने इसलिए रखा कि I get an opportunity of studying these shastras. You can correlate it. In the same way, if that situation had not come, I would have not joined this course or the classes regularly. That's only Bhagwan guiding. तब पता नहीं चलता. अब look back, it is all in blessing only. So today I will not know. After 4 or 5 years, I will know. What treatment going on now is His grace only, and to take me to this next level. वहां जाकर फिर आगे वाला. बस फेथ से भगवान को हम पकड़े और निष्ठा से व्हाट वी वांट वही हमने पूछा. Other things slowly we should say. See, there are two things. One, other than you, O God, I will not surrender to anyone. Second, other than seeking you, O Lord, I don't want anything else. इसमें जब हमको एकता अन्यता निष्ठा होता है, then these blessings come along with our own efforts all the time. If we don't put efforts positively towards Paramatma, we being living beings, we end up in doing something which is contrary in receiving his blessings. इसलिए भी हमको लगातार करते ही रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बिना किए वी कांट बी. सो इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग पॉजिटिव, वी डू नेगेटिव. I do the daily upasana sadhana not because with this Bhagavan will come. Bhagavan will come only when he chooses. But I do all these things only to avoid doing something other than this or opposite. है ना, भगवत कृपा रिसेप्शन के लिए जो प्रतिकूल होता है उसको अवॉइड करने के लिए वी डू द अनुकूल प्रक्रियास. Understood? This is how we keep on doing. Else, our mind wants to go here and there. Many people, on the name of devotion or surrender, they say हमने भगवान को surrender किया, and they let loose their own personality, which goes on indulging in the world. Thus, they are immature, cheating themselves. In such cases, even your prayers are strong, Bhagavan has answered them, but you're already lost in something, you don't receive those prayers, others' blessings, etc. You don't receive them because we are lost. Whereas our own efforts in our own sadhana keep us readily available for the God's grace to reach us. So may we all be clear about our role to play. Again, our own role to our role to play means doing our sadhanas. Again, our role to pray, and again our role to receive the blessings when they come. So may our life that way be day by day become filled with these beautiful spiritual understandings, doings, and experiences. May we feel that joy and fulfillment that we have chosen right path and we have walked in the right way and we really are happy about it. Not only no regrets or guilts, but there are celebrations की thank God हम ये चुन पाए और कर पाए और पहुंच पाए. ओम 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 सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं. भवेव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलम् अचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. श्री श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषद आचार्येभ्यो नमः. वेदव्यास महर्षिये नमः. श्वेताश्वतर महर्षये नमः. आद्य शंकर महर्षये नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यमोदस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः साम्प्रदायानां शास्त्राणां मुक्तिमार्गाणां पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्तिविश्वध्यात्मिकप्रगति एकता शान्ति पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थमस्मिन् धर्मसंस्थापने निष्ठित अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां पूर्णायुरारोग्यादि शक्ति साधना संपदादि प्राप्ति बाह्य अभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापने निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थों अनेक शास्त्र अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः श्री शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषद श्री आद्यशंकराचार्य कृत मंगलाचरण श्लोकम् ओम नित्यानंदं निराधारं निखिलाधारमव्ययं निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकण्ठं नमाम्यहम्। ओम अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः शान्तिमन्त्रः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ओम अथ श्री आद्यशंकराचार्य कृत संबंध भाष्यं प्रथमोऽध्यायः। Friends, we are lucky. We have spent good time in trying to study and understand the Sambandha Bhashyam given by Bhagavan Adi Shankara, in which three most important sacred salient topics were discussed. This is the topic which has to be 100,000 times to be studied till every aspect of it is thoroughly understood and digested and kept with us. First topic was our Nija Swarupa, which is our goal also. Chit Sadananda Advitiyam Brahma. The second topic was very crucial and elaborate. How from that self we have degraded to today's level of total bondage, wherein Ragadi Doshaihi Itastataha Akrushyamanaha Suranara Tiryagadi Yonishu Sancharan. Isn't it a big topic? The total life of samsara which we are now in. The entire reasoning explanation is given. And it started with the avidya of our own essential self to be Chitsadananda Advidya Atma. That led to the birth of the Chidabhasa. That Chidabhasa cannot keep quiet. It gets identified the upadhis. Immediately Swabhavika Purushartha catches it. Then in that Swabhavika Purushartha comes in. Here the Swabhavika Purushartha are Dharma Artha Kama because they belong to the Upadhis. We are identified with the Upadhis. Therefore सर पर गिर जाते हैं वो. Then while involving in them only, Ishta Prapti, which is Apurushartha, we consider as Purushartha. In this entire description, even though every sentence is perfect and powerful and very important at their own places, this particular sentence is very crucial. What is that? Ishta praptim apurushartham purushartham anyamana. Isn't it? Throughout our life, all our efforts are only to gain of those about which we have the ishtata, what we desire or what we like. This is called samsara. By this one sentence, Bhagavan Shankara, for a wise person, for a shrewd person, for a intelligent person, strong person, he is giving an idea for the whole life. What is that? Ishta Prapti cannot be the Purushartha. Ishta Prapti is Apurushartha. Because the Ishta desire belongs to the Jiva. Ishta belongs to Jiva because of his Upadita. And Upadhis, the Jiva Bhava, Ishtavastu, all of them are delusory projections only. They are not real at all. That is why it cannot be Purushartha. But Manyamanaha, we do the Manmani of Ishta Purushartha, sorry, Ishta Prapti as Purushartha. Therefore, we always involve in it. That is why The most another powerful sentence was said was mokshartham alabhamanaha. We don't even think about where is moksha, what is moksha, how is moksha. Because for us, ishta prapti alone is moksha. But that is such a delusion. One ishta is getting fulfilled, but upaditadhatma still it is there. Anything you gained, the ishta prapti, it is time bound, it is ending. Therefore, the emptiness again is felt. Again, one more. In that way, ishta prapti only purushartha we take, and we are going on doing. The real purushartha, the mokshartham, alabhamana. And then ragadi dosha makaradivihi itastata akrushямana suratara tiryag yonishu paryatan sancharan. Clear? Then we were told the Ashtanga Vedanta sadhana. How important this is to everyday remember. Not that for your sake, you are Mahagnani Santa, you all know everything. But merely yaad kar. What are the 8 limbs, if you can really recognize? First one is Sukruta Karma. Second one is Brahmanadi Adhikara Sharira Prapti. Third is Ishwarartha Karmanusthana. Four, seeing the result of it in the form of Abhagata Ragadi Mala. Fifth one, using the Buddhi, seeing the temporary nature. Anityatvadi dosha, seeing that Anityatva ityadi, the dosha. Iha Amutra Artha Bhoga Viraga. Fifth one. Then the sixth one, Acharyam Upagamya. Sixth one. Seventh one then, isn't it? Again, the Sankhya is missing. Sukruta karma, Brahmana Sharya Prapti, Ishwarartha karma, Ragadi Mala removed, then Vairagya for Ihamutrartha Phalabhoga. Sixth is Acharya Upasadanam. Then seventh one is Acharya Upadesha Dvarena. Seventh one is Aham Brahmasmiti Jnanam and Anubhavam in that. Eighth one. Two more are there, 9 and 10. Because of that, avidya, along with all karya, goes away. Then the 10th and last one, the beautiful one is Vita Shoko Bhavati. Isn't it? The 8 plus 2, the 10 sadhanas. Now, the 2-line conclusion by Bhagavan Shankara again is a masterpiece. What is that? Avidya Nivrutti Lakshana Moksha. Because it is in the Vidya's Adhinata. Therefore, Vidya teaching, Upanishad, Adhyanam is essential. Therefore, we are starting. See that concluding sentence. How beautiful, how sweet, how complete it is. How much kindness, compassion in that. Avidya nivrutti lakshanasya mokshasya. है ना? मोक्ष कब मिलेगा? When total avidya is nivrutta, removed. But how the avidya can be removed? You can't remove something which is vague. Avidya means absence, no? Ignorance कहते हैं उसको. How can you remove ignorance? Ignorance and darkness are non-substantial things. How can you hold them and remove? पकड़ में नहीं आते वो. But still they cause all havoc. Therefore they have to be removed only. How do you remove the darkness? By putting the light on. In the same way, how the avidya will go away? In the going away of which alone the moksha comes, vidya adhinatvat. Only when the vidya is gained, the vidya goes away. And who teaches us the vidya? Upanishad. Therefore, Upanishad arabhyate. Vidya adhinatvat yujyate cha. Tadartha Upanishad arambha. Yujyate, therefore it is suitable, it is correct, it is perfect that we should start the study of the Upanishad. Because Vidya Prapti alone removes the Avidya. Avidya removal alone is the moksha from Avidya and Avidya Krita, Upadi and Upaditadatma Krita, entire samsara bandhana. So Vidya Adhinatvat Yujyate cha Tadartha Upanishad Arambha. Therefore, it is always Yujyate मतलब ये बात बनता है, ये करेक्ट है कि जीवन में उपनिषद का अध्ययन आरंभ करना, उपनिषद का साधना करना, ये बनता है भाई. बिकॉज उपनिषद gives vidya, vidya removes avidya, avidya removes all moksha, moksha sorry, all bandhanam. When the bandhanam gone away, moksha comes to us. Then beautifully, having seen all that, the tons of quotations which Bhagavan Shankara gave to explain to us. One we studied yesterday. Today also we'll go through few of them. So before that he says, not only the Vidya Prapti removes the avidya and gives moksha, but that moksha anubhuti is amrutatva. There are two things. The moksha खत्म नहीं होता, हमेशा रहता है. और that अनुभूति of the self is of that self which is mrutarahita. Murti, whenever you say, it is the last of the parinama. And the first of the parinama is janma. So jayate, asti, vardate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati or mritim prapnoti. All these happen only to the upadhis. In Paramatma, none of these happenings are there. And because of the happenings of these, only there is dukkha or misery. But they happen to the upadhi. Therefore, when we were out of ignorance and the upadhi level were subjected to these modifications, therefore we were suffering. Now we have transcended the upadhis through vidya and recognized, as said above, कि वेदांत श्रवणादिना अहम ब्रह्मास्मि इति ब्रह्मा आत्म तत्वम अवगम्य. वेदांत वाक्य का श्रवण मनन निधिध्यासन करके अहम ब्रह्मास्मि इति द ब्रह्मा अनुभूति came to us, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि अनुभूति came to us, in the light of which अहम उपाधि अस्मि, that is gone. Only in the upadhis were those modifications were there. The last of which was the mruti. In the pure Brahman, light from the first one, the Janma, after the last one, the Mruti, none of them were there. Therefore, Amruta Prapti it is. That is why he said, Tatha Tad Vijnanat Amrutatvam. Tat means Tat Parabrahma as myself. Vijnanat means when we experience, Amrutatvam means immortality, eternality, modificationlessness. Birth to death, those changes, they are not there. And to justify it, not only I am just telling in the Sambandha Bhashya, but hundreds of quotations from various Shruti Smriti Purana Itihasa talk about this. So, there are two things. In various periods of history, various teachers taught this only to their disciples, and whoever the disciples have understood, accepted, practiced that, they all truly got the experience, said or promised by the Guru of that Amrutattva Prapti by obtaining this Atma or Brahma Vidya, whose culmination is Aham Brahmasmi iti Anubhavam. Then why all this said? Therefore, you also clearly understand that only in Aham Brahmasmi Anubhava there is moksha from all bandhanas once for all, nowhere else. So, देखो इतना स्पष्ट ज्ञानम, yet how hesitant we are to listen, how reluctant we are to contemplate, how ignorant we are to understand, how egoistic we are not to accept it. Therefore, how lazy, lethargic or extorted we are to practice it, not to practice it. आप समझ में आ रहा है ना, कितने लेवल्स में हमको अपने आप को सुधारना है. So that how much conscious effort of understanding, conscious effort to change ourselves we have to put. This is called spiritual sadhana. And that we can't do when we are in the same setup and system of a routine of samsara as we are now. Therefore, change of place, change of people, change of routine, change of all our activities is inevitable. To understand and accept it is 10 lives it takes, wherein in every life we are listening to Vedanta and our desire to know the Paramatma is growing, growing, growing. ऐसा ग्रो करते करते in the sense of urgency जब ग्रो होता है, maybe after 10 12 lives, okay, now I understood, accepted, unless ruthlessly give up or reject everything inner and outer obstructions of Paramatma, I can't experience him. तब जाकर के व्युत्थाय वैक्षचर्याम चरंती और ऐषणात्रेभ्य व्युत्थाय और त्यक्त्वा गृहे रतिमदोगति हेतु भूताम आत्मिक्षयोपनिषदर्थ रसम पिबन्तः. You understand that the Danyastakam, what we studied, those things start happening. Today for us, more thinking of moksha only is in the samsara, not in Paramatma. Therefore, our plannings, our thoughts, our actions are oriented 95% only about the worldliness. 5% we do about spirituality. फिर भी मोक्ष यहाँ नहीं है, इधर बंधन है, उधर ही मोक्ष है, वो वाला ख्याल अभी भी पकड़ के रखा हमको. Because only that much of listening, study, contemplation we did. More listening, more study, more and more contemplation, that 5% can become 50, 60, 70. Finally, 100%, I know the moksha is there only in Paramatma Prapti, but that everything else has to be given up, only exclusively that alone to be pursued. Like in Shivananda Lahari, we are seeing, hey Bhagavan, ki instead of surrendering their chitta to your feet and become Parama Saukhyam, Jadamati, they are unnecessarily doing Brahmana for getting various flowers to give you from various ponds or lakes or jungles or mountains. है ना? गभीरे कासारे, है ना? घोर विपिने, all of that, विशति जनः. देन समर्प्यैकश्चेतः सरसिजं वा नाथ भवते सुखेनावस्थातुं जनैः न जानाति अहो मूढधियः. Same way, we come to that conclusion one day. All these efforts are leading us towards it. But these efforts have to be consistent, should never be given up. कोई भी बिल्डिंग कहीं भी रोक दो तो रुक जाता है, फिर धीरे धीरे सड़ जाता है. दैट बिल्डिंग विल कोलैप्स. Haunting place it becomes. Spirituality also, wherever we stop, it stops. Especially the Shravanadi. Please never be in the delusion throughout life that by giving up the Shastra, study and listening, that you can still be spiritual. Even after studying Shastra so much, still our M and I, mind, intellect, are into the worldliness. Giving up the Shastra, then when mind, intellect are only in the world, if we think that we can do spirituality, we are joking, we are insulting, or we are, what do you call, expressing like a joker only. We are talking nonsense only. We are talking impossibility. We are expressing our immaturity. That's it. इतना शास्त्र सुन सुन कर ही दिमाग भगवान में नहीं बैठ रहा, अब छोड़ दिया. मिरेकल नहीं होते स्पिरिचुअलिटी में कि बस हम वर्ल्ड में इन कर रहे हैं, कुछ हो जाएगा, कोई महात्मा आएंगे लाइफ में, कोई गुरु आएंगे, कोई भगवान कुछ करेंगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. Even for it to happen, the only way is our willingness for Paramatma increased through daily listening and studying of Shastra. One of the most effective way of cheating by our own mind of us is this way, taking us away from the Paramatma through the study of Shastra, etc. You understood? Through study of Shastra and Manana Chintana, whole personality is soaked in the understanding of Paramatma and only thinking about Him at that time, because the Shastra has entered the heart, the physical outer Shastra may not be required. Yet there also we should not take it for granted. But have we reached to that level? That we can be confident that we can keep away the satsang and Shastra and yet be in touch with God? If yes, you are great महात्मा, आपको नमस्कार प्रणाम. मैं तो नहीं हुआ उस स्थिति में. अभी 10 जन्म सत्संग शास्त्र अध्ययन पढ़ते ही रहना पड़े. Never allow ourselves to cheat ourselves. Okay, now the first quotation was so beautiful. He says, Tam evam viditva. Yes, what is it? Tam evam vidvan amrutah yavavati. As I said, every of the mantra or quote we will chant 11 times. Before that, I give you the meaning. That chanting becomes as if a little meditation. So, tam evam vidvan amrutah iha bhavati. Tam atmanam vidvan. The one who discovered that self alone in himself. Amrutah bhavati, he becomes immortal. Iha amrutah bhavati. When one word is given Amrita, it should be understood as all. First Amrita means Mrutirahita. Mrutirahita means which is always there. Always there means it is Sat. When it is Sat, it has to be Chit. When it is Sat and Chit, it has to be Ananda. Therefore, in one word Amritatva, Satchidananda, which we listen, that is there. Once we understand Satchidananda, Sat it is, not Asat. Therefore, the fear of Asat goes away. Chit it is, not Achit. Therefore, the fear and misery of Achit goes away. Because it is Ananda, therefore, the fear of the misery of Dukkha goes away permanently. In that way, what we want to get rid of, the fear and misery, and what we want to get, the infinitude and bliss, they are available. That's the meaning of Amritattva we have to catch. So when we keep on listening Vedanta and terminologies, we will be able to understand the exact meaning of that term or the word in that particular context. Words are the only way to convey. Therefore, they have to choose the words to teach us, the gurus. But beyond the words, what exactly the context? To understand it, we have to have some special sixth sense or ability. If that is developed, then we'll be able to correctly catch through one word so many other things which are meant. For example, this one. Tamevam vidvan amrutah iha bhavati. He becomes immortal. He discovers his immortality. And therefore, all the fears of death, deception, misery, end ones for all. This is one quote. Now, इसी की continuation में है, and also in the Upanishad which we are going to study, same thing is said, but in a reversed manner. Like we say, no, you want this object, go to that shop. It will be available. And to substantiate that sentence, inevitably we say, in no other shop such a thing will be there. है ना, चाय पीनी है तो उसी होटल में जाना, दूसरी जगह नहीं मिलेगी वो वाली. So the second quotation is of that nature, to strengthen our single pointed approach to know that self, which is mentioned as tam in the above first quote. So what is the second quotation? Ki na anya pantha vidyate ayanaya. Ayana means direction and destination. And direction towards the destination called, or to direction towards the moksha, and destination of the moksha. To reach to that ayanaya, वहां पहुंचने के लिए न अन्य पंथा विद्यते. There is no other path. Pantha means path. See the word Sanskrit pantha, how slow closely the English fellow has taken it as path. Path word came from pantha only. So na anya pantha, there is no other path there existing for the moksha other than tamevam viditva, knowing the self. All bondages are in the not self. Only in the knowledge of the self that all bondages once for all go away. Therefore, other than in knowing the self, nowhere else, no other path is there which takes us to the moksha. See how many times this sentence has to be heard, thought, contemplated to not only remove the wrong pursuits or moksha in the worldly thing, but to establish in us understanding and conviction and acceptance and effort that this is the only path for moksha. So let me go for it. लेकिन जैसे डॉक्टर का जो प्रेस्क्रिप्शन है हम आधा सुनते हैं, ये सुनते ही नहीं या मनन नहीं करते, तो याद ही नहीं किया, हम भूल ही जाते हैं कि डॉक्टर ने दवा कब कब लेने को कहा, क्या क्या खाने को कहा, क्या क्या मना करने को कहा. Then what will happen? All the three, medicine not taken, to be avoided food is not avoided, to be taken is not taken. Will the bimari go? It will never. So too, this samsara bimari, the bhavaroga कहते हैं, we cannot be vague, then we'll never be spiritual. These sentences become Mahavakyas in those contexts. All of them culled from there. Shankara Bhagavan has put as one place for us. Our job is to feel deeply the meaning of the mantra and its consequence, expected consequence on our heart. In the first sentence, the positive assertion, Tamevam Vidvan Amrutaha Iha Bhavati. Only the knower of the Atman becomes immortal here. Is there any other path, sir? When such question doubt comes, to ruthlessly reject it. Na anya pantha vidyate ayanaya. So ayanaya moksha praptaye anya pantha, the other path, na vidyate, hai nahi. तुम बनाओगे कोई दूसरा मार्ग, बट वो मोक्ष के लिए नहीं जाएगा. इट विल ऑल्सो एंड अप इन द बंधन ओनली. दैट्स व्हाट इष्ट प्राप्तिम अपुरुषार्थम पुरुषार्थम मन्यमान का अर्थ. Therefore, what is the meaning of this second quotation? Na anyah pantha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other path laid down for the moksha prapti other than knowing the self. तमेवम विद्वान ऊपर वाला बेस है बाकी कोटेशंस के लिए. Therefore, don't search for any other path and don't leave walking this path. Therefore, Atma Vidya through the Upanishads alone is the way for moksha. Hold on to it. The vagueness is the confusions, the less understanding, the misunderstanding, the right understandings, all of them will get settled when we continuously engage in the study of the Upanishadic Brahma Vidya. सारे क्वेश्चन डाउट सब क्लियर होते है ना. लाइक ये मार्ग वहां नहीं जाएगा, ये जाएगा. हो गया. फिर अब चलते रहोगे तो ऑल द रास्ता हम नापते रहेंगे. इन बिटवीन एनी ऑब्स्टेकल्स व्हाट एवर दे आर वी कीप ऑन कॉन्करिंग. So the second one is na anya pantha vidyate ayanaya. It comes in Shwethashwathara also, in many other Upanishads also, this quotation. Same thing in Lord Shiva Bhakti. It is said, why go for any other devatas when Shiva can give us anything? Earlier one we have seen, no? Not knowing you, O Lord, they consider all सहस्रम वर्तन्ते जगति विबुधाः क्षुद्रफलदाः न मन्ये स्वप्ने वा तदनुसरणं तत्कृतफलं हरिब्रह्मादीनाम् अपि निकटभाजामसुलभं चिरं याचे शम्भो शिव तव पदाम्भोज भजनम्. याद है? There may be people, thousands of devatas who are givers of the क्षुद्र फल, बट मुझे तो अक्षुद्र फल चाहिए. क्षुद्र मीन्स चिल्लर, छोटा, लिमिटेड फल. अक्षुद्र इज इनफाइनाइट फल. तो इनफाइनाइट फल गिविंग Lord Shiva Bhakti only I will have, not the other devatas who give the limited fala. Same is here. The not, moksha not giving, but on the name of giving happiness, the bandhana giving, pantha or the paths are so many. They are called as yajna margas. They are called as upasana margas. They are called as karma margas. They are called as ishtaprapti hetuhu, doing various karma action margas. They are not the paths for moksha. They take you away from moksha more and more. They bind us only. Therefore, be clear ruthlessness. Na anya pantha vidyate moksha ayanaya. To reach to the moksha sthiti, don't think of any other path other than tamevam viditva, knowing the self. You will be lost in the ignorance and more bondages. अब देखो कितने बार बेटा थोड़ा ये टीवी वगैरह छोड़ो, सेल फोन छोड़ो, ध्यान से पढ़ना शुरू करो, तभी जाकर गुड मार्क्स एंड ऑल. But somehow that fellow doesn't register. You understand the childishness in which so many negativity, ignorances are there in us also. The obstacles of mind, the obstacles of asanas, the obstacles of stulata of the intellect and its slavery to mind senses. So many are the ones which are not allowing this highest medicine of inspiring us to pursue the self is not entering us. Now that is why we have to study Sri Rama's Yoga system, in which he is scrutinizing every antakarana and their pravritti and proving to us how it is a cause of bondage. Ahankara Dauratmya we have seen, Chitta Dauratmya and Mana Dauratmya today we are seeing, Vyavahara Dauratmya already it was seen. Repeatedly when we study, then we find the shortcomings in that. Then through that Pratipaksha Bhavana, we reject all of that. Then Nanyaha Panta Vidyate Ayanaya, that conviction comes to us. Once that conviction comes, then Tamevam Vidwan, the whole life is aimed at only is knowing the inner self. Nothing else. No second goal. No other goal. No other path. That is why the power of each of these quotations. So the quotation is Nanya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. The meaning is Na Anya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. Vidyate मतलब है, न विद्यते मतलब नहीं है. Ayanaya means मोक्ष के लिए. Pantha means marga. So there is no other pantha or marga other than Atma Jnana to reach to the moksha. Now let us chant it 11 times. Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. So other than the Atma Jnana, Aham Brahmasmi Jnana or Anubhuti, there is no other path for moksha. Keeping that meaning in mind, chant this 11 times. 2 times we did it, 9 more times. Na anya pantha vidyate ayanaya. नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अयनाय 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 न अन्यः पन्था विद्यते अयनाय न अन्यः पन्था विद्यते अयनाय नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अयनाय नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अयनाय. अब देखो, when this is said there is another path. What is the other path? नहीं है मतलब other than अहम ब्रह्मास्मि अनुभूति. Now this अहम ब्रह्मास्मि अनुभूति happens only when we meditate. Meditation happens when we contemplate. Contemplation happens when you have the data. Data you will get when you listen from the Guru or Acharya. You listen from the Acharya when you go to the Acharya. You go to the Acharya when we stop going anywhere else. We stop going anywhere else when we have Purna Vairagya for anything. Vairagya will have only when we think the Anityadi dosha in that. The ability to think about the Anityadi dosha will happen when relatively our Antakarana is free from the Ragadi. That will come when we do our work Ishwarartham. And that will happen when we have the Brahmana Adi Adhikara Sharira. And that will be there when we do the Sukruta Karma. Ab dekho, these 8 plus to 10 steps of moksha, how they are related to this Nanya Panta Ainaya Vidya. Final thing, other than Atma Prapti, Brahma Prapti has no moksha. But that is the 10th point, starting from the first point of Sukruta Karma, also depending on where our Antakarana stands now. See, is there any ambiguity in explanation of Bhagavan Adi Shankara? The ambiguity will be there in our listening understanding because our Upadhi Antakarana is Bahirmukha, Tamoguni, Rajoguni, Kshipta, Muda, Vikshipta. But if we are in Ekagra Bhumika, if we are alertly listening, we know how perfectly we are taught by Bhagavan Shankara. So, 2 quotations we have seen and relate all those 10 points to every one of them. So, through all these quotations, only Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti gives moksha. On that, we have to become stronger. That should lead to our understanding and acceptance and doing of the above said 10 sadhanas, right from Kenapi Sukruta Karmana. This is how our whole mind and planning of day schedule should revolve in or should have. No other thing we should involve in. Not like today where little bit mind intellect exposed to Shastra, that too very superficially. But heart in heart, our whole day is in thinking about world and worldliness. उस इमेच्योरिटी से हमको बाहर आना, ये मेच्योरिटी में आना है. So busy we have to in only discovering the self through all these 10 steps. Hmm? This is how the lesson here comes. One more shloka quotation ki wonderful one it is. Kena Upanishad we have studied it. Nachediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. देखो, these 3 quotations, the sequence in which Bhagavan gave also is Majidar. First, positively said. Second, All the alternatives are removed. Third, if that is not done, you will only incur ultimate loss. Thus, the frightening or threatening is done. The threatening in frightening why the Shruti Mata is not for her, for us only. Like जब डॉक्टर कहता है ये दवा नहीं लोगे तो तुम्हारी बीमारी बढ़ेगी. This frightening, threatening, he is not doing it for himself. He is doing for the patients. Isn't it? Therefore, the third quotation, see the sequence? First is Tamevam Vidwan Amrutahi Avavati. Very soft, sweet, complete sentence. Here, the knower of the Brahman, Brahmasmi, alone becomes Amrutaha immortal. Continuation of that is what? Na anya panta enaya vidyate. To get this moksha, there is no other marga. If you do something else to reach somewhere else, not Atma Jnana pursuit, to get the Atma Anubhuti and Moksha, what will happen? Because you have not sought the Moksha going Paramatma, you will have Mahati Vinashti. See that sentence. Nachet iha avedit Mahati Vinashti. If in human life you are not recognizing the self, Mahati Vinashti, you are incurring greater than the greatest loss. Because the opportunity as a human being is gone. Only in the human life that we can do this Adhyatmic sadhana to discover Paramatma in us. And actually, because we are alive and because we are not pursuing Paramatma, the life has to express as some other action. If I am not pursuing Paramatma, obviously, I am pursuing something else. And that causes more and more strengthening of ignorance, more and more vasanas, more and more it takes us away from Paramatma. Like if somebody is not coming to the class, means what? They have gone into the samsara only to destroy themselves. We don't talk that, but that's the obvious meaning. Unless you go to some other class or some spiritual sadhana you are doing, if that is not done, you are destroying yourself. You don't come to the class, Mahati Vinashti. Again, bunking the class, attending anything is only adding to your ego, adding to our vasanas, adding to our worldliness. Unless that program is more spiritual than this. But do you think we listen that? Do you think we agree that? We go on giving chances, taking chances with the worldliness, and this side we do sadhana, that time we neutralize or do something against our sadhana. It goes on. The gurus know it that we are in that state of immaturity and all. Oh, intezar karte rahe. But the seeker should realize that mistake. That is why he says, not only there is no other path for the moksha other than Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti, other than that, anything you do, not only moksha will not come, but the opposite of it, Mahati Vinashti. You will be in the extreme loss. Now, behind this sentence, what an amount of that feeling or concern the Shruti Mata is feeling and giving us. Nachediha avedi mahati vinashti. Iha, in this Manushaloka, born in India, Sanatana Dharma, even gaining gurus and studying all Shastras, if you have not tried and discovered the self, Mahati Vinashti. Because we told you, this opportunity may or may not come again and again, and not doing sadhana, something else we did, all of that creates the karma phala, karma paripaka or vipaka that pushes us in some or the other world so forcefully that we are not given chance there to study our shastra and do sadhana. Just like in today's sadhanas, we are pushed into the worldliness, it will be added to that only. That is why going away from Paramatma is called Mahati Vinashti. That will happen. In fact, in Kayana Upanishad, mm, mm, the sentence is Iha Chedavedit. Uh, mm, that sentence came Upanishad. Nachedi ha vedit mahati vinashti. अथ सत्यमस्ति यह चेदवेदीद अथ सत्यमस्ति न चेदिहा वेदीन महति विनष्टि भूतेषु भूतेषु विचित्य धीराः प्रेत्यास्माल्लोकात् अमृता भवन्ति. कठोपनिषद में जो ये मंत्र है ना कि यह चेद अवेदित अथ सत्यम अस्ति. In while living as a human being only, recognize the self, then you have really made yourself liberated. Nachedi havedit, if you have not tried, mahati vinashti. So the second part of that shloka, Shankar Bhagavan quoted because it is suiting in the continuation of the above two quotations. One is what? Tamevam vidvan amrutahe bhavati. Second one, anya pantha vidyate naya. Third one, nachediha vedit mahati vinashti. So let us just conclude by chanting this mantra 11 times, again with the meaning in our heart. न चेदिहा वेदीन्महति विनष्टिः न च न चेत इह अवेदीत महति विनष्टिः. न चेत इह अवेदीत, अगर नहीं जाना उस ब्रह्म को इस जगत में, इस जन्म में, महति विनष्टिः, एक्सट्रीम लॉस यू इनकर. व्हाट इज द लॉस? वी हैव टोल्ड ऑलरेडी. Keeping that meaning in the mind, chant it 10 times. Nachediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. 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 न चेदिहा वेदीन महति विनष्टिः. 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 Like that, more quotes tomorrow we'll see. Om 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Paramanusibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre. Om Tat Sat Brahmastu. Dear friends, forget the whole world. Allow these thoughts to sink inside to such an extent that other than Paramatma Prapti as the goal and other than following the sadhanas to reach it, nothing else we are going to do. We are ruthless about it. Till this conviction happens, for this conviction to happen, listen to these sentences and understand or स्वीकार करें उसका, receive करें very intensely, deeply. Let us not worry about anything else. I tell you, new month started, good days, every day is that way. But a golden period for us next 3-4 days, because only these type of quotations we are bombarded with. And somehow the Lord gave this idea to chant these 11 times to deeply understand every sentence. Not that कि उपनिषद का quotation है उसका अर्थ है चलो next वाला. In 10 minutes I can tell all the quotes. But Guru Bhagavan is not suggesting us to do like that. He is telling us to pause and understand every word, every sentence. What it means? It means it is the infinite grace of God making us intense in our pursuit only of Paramatma to the exclusion of everything else. This is called blessings. But are we ready to receive? It is in our hands. So the request suggestion is regular to the class, thorough in listening, thorough in contemplation, thorough in understanding, thorough in acceptance, and fully engaged only in this pursuit to the exclusion of everything else. कुछ भी नुकसान नहीं होने वाला है उससे. Never have any fear. अगर कोई नुकसान होना है, it is only of our ego, our worldly pursuits, our attachments to the delusory relations and all of that. That nonsense only goes away from us, and we just come out washed or bathed or cleaned and cleared of all the unwanted kachra of inner and outer life. उससे अलावा कोई नुकसान ही नहीं है इस तरह का pursuits. So let us, we few lucky ones, thoroughly, deeply delving in this subject. Let us enjoy the blessings. Thank you.